PL 116260 Consolidated Appropriations Act 2021. Presentation by the Children's Bureau.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jerry Milner with the Children's Bureau, and I want to welcome all of you to this webinar this afternoon and express my gratitude for your participation today. We're tremendously excited about the passage of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. We're particularly excited about the support that it lends to our youth in foster care and those who have been emancipated during this very, very difficult time that we're all experiencing, as well as added support for our other programs in child welfare. As many of you well know, we have worked very hard to remain in close contact with hundreds of youth during this pandemic. We participated in many national, regional webinars to hear their concerns, to try to address their questions and try to figure out ways in which we can be more responsive to them. The webinar today is designed to provide you with an overview of the provisions of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, with particular attention to the supporting foster youth and families through the pandemic portion of the Act, which we believe is quite responsive to many of the concerns that young adults, young people have shared with us during this pandemic. While it's a bit early for us to have all of the answers to the many questions that we know are out there, we thought that it was really quite important for us to be able to convene folks early on to provide a very high level overview of the Act just as quickly as possible. So in today's webinar, we plan to go over the major provisions of the Act, again, particularly those that affect our child welfare programs. And we'll be following up later with additional guidance and responses to questions that arise at a later date. But for right now, I'm very pleased to introduce you to our Assistant Secretary for Children and Families, Lynn Johnson. Lynn has been an incredible champion for including the voices of lived expertise in all of the Administration for Children and Families programs. That includes sponsoring a youth engagement team that has met over this past fall to provide some valuable insights into the needs of youth during the pandemic. Lynn has provided strong support for this recently passed act and for the benefits that we know it is sure to provide to our young people. So Lynn, with that, I'm pleased to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jerry. It is such a pleasure for me to join you all today and a chance to welcome to all of you for participating in this informational webinar on the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. This has particular attention to the supporting foster youth and families through the pandemic portion of the Act. The Act provides much needed relief in several child welfare program areas, including the Chaffee program for youth transitioning to adulthood, the Kinship Navigator program, and the Family First Prevention Services Act, the Court Improvement Program, and the Safe and Stable Families Program. Today, we will spend the bulk of our time today discussing the Chaffee provisions and their impact on youth in foster care and those who have emancipated. This truly represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to commit to understanding that when a child or youth is brought into foster care, we have a collective responsibility to assist them after age 18 and beyond. We know that our young people are hurting, and throughout this pandemic, we have made routine efforts to stay connected to youth affected by the pandemic and to understand their needs. And we have been so pleased to be able to support this act and all that we think it can provide for our youth. So many of our youth were already vulnerable, and the pandemic has shown us how on the margins they live. While we know they are also resilient and survivors, it is a difficult time for everyone, every individual in this country. This relief money represents the understanding that many youth need cash assistance. We know other relief efforts haven't always reached our youth stimulus, like the stimulus payments, unemployment, but this money is designed to address that gap. This is an opportunity for leadership to create clear values and vision about what they want to see accomplished. At this time, saying no, or that's not what we've done in the past, is not a reason. Instead, we hope and encourage to create a culture of yes. It is time to be creative and use every method possible to ensure the well-being of our youth. And we encourage you to use the power of leadership to convene departments and others with the collective framework that quickly providing relief to youth is our mission. This money needs to get out, and it needs to get to where it is going to be most used. So thank you again for participating and for your commitment to our youth and the programs that serve them. I'm going to turn it back to you, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn, and just thank you so much for all you've done for youth across the country. We also know that there are many states that have acted during this time in the best interests of youth over the last 10 months by using things like emergency orders, executive orders, temporary policies, sometimes just plain common sense to break down the barriers in the interest of serving young people who are in a real crisis. We urge all of you on the call to continue to look at ways to increase that support as the pandemic and its effects continue in full force. Unfortunately, given the large number of participants that we have on today's call and the time constraints that we have, and also our desire to adequately cover the major provisions of the Act, we're not going to be able to respond to individual questions during the webinar. But as I mentioned earlier, we will be providing additional written guidance as quickly as possible. And if there are questions that you believe need to be addressed in that guidance, we encourage you to submit those questions to your regional offices. And we will here in the central office assemble those questions and do our best to respond in the upcoming guidance that we'll be putting out there on the Act. With that, I want to now turn our program over to Elizabeth Lovner, who is in our policy division and who will lead us through the major provisions of the Act. Liz, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Jerry, and thanks for that great introduction to this. My name is Liz Lovner. I work in the policy division in the Children's Bureau, and I'm going to go through the nitty-gritty little overview of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, well, at least the provisions that apply to child welfare.
A slide with bulleted statements.
So the Consolidated Appropriations Act, or PL 116-260, was signed into law on December 27th in 2020. Broadly, this law makes continuing appropriations for federal agencies, and it also importantly provides flexibilities and assistance in response to COVID-19, the pandemic and public health emergency. As I believe Jerry mentioned, today I'm going to provide a basic overview of the child welfare provisions of the law. We'll be providing separate instructions and guidance in the near future on the implementation of the supplemental funding, of the flexibilities, all the details of what you'll need to know. I know you have many questions, and unfortunately, we cannot answer them today, but please do pass them along to your regional offices in particular so that they can get those to us as we are going through and make sure that we can address those questions as we provide those instructions and go forward with the implementation of these provisions.
Division X, supporting foster youth and families through the pandemic.
The major piece of this law that impacts child welfare is Division X, the supporting youth and families through the pandemic section. This will impact Chaffee, the education and training vouchers, as well as foster care broadly.
Section
and Title
3,
4E.
continued safe operation of child welfare programs and
First, I'm going to
support for
go
older
through
foster
the
youth.
Chaffee and education and training vouchers, or ETV, sections. So what this bill has done is create an additional appropriation of $400 million in supplemental funding for Chaffee programs for this fiscal year 2021. It reserves a minimum of $50 million out of that $400 million for ETV. This supplemental Chaffee and ETV appropriation has a 100% federal match, meaning it's completely 100% federal dollars. It also exempts all of this supplemental funding from the NIDed penalty calculations.
Section 3, continued maximum ETV award amount.
The law also increases the maximum amount for an ETV award for each individual from $5,000 to $12,000 through September 30th, 2022.
Section 3, continued maximum age for assistance.
Another programmatic change, temporarily, is that it allows Chaffee and ETV to be provided up till age 27 for a period that is specified in the law.
Section 3, continued technical assistance.
It also creates a set aside of about $6 million out of that supplemental Chaffee funding for evaluations, technical assistance, and data collection. A portion of this must be reserved for states that are implementing a driving and transportation program for youth in foster care, at least $500,000.
Section 3, continued programmatic flexibilities, effective from 4/1/2020 to
Now I'm going to get into more of the
9/30/2021.
programmatic flexibilities created by this law. It allows states and tribes to waive the requirement for ETVs that a youth must be enrolled in a post-secondary education or training program, or that they be making satisfactory progress towards completing that program. And that can be waived if a youth is unable to do those due to COVID-19. In addition, it allows those ETV funds to be used to support youth in remaining enrolled. And now that will include expenses that are not part of the cost of attendance. So you can see this expands the purpose of the ETV temporarily from April 1st, 2020 until September 30th of this year. Additionally, it waives this limitation on the percentage of funds that a state or tribe can use out of its Chaffee funds for room and board payments. So previously, it would be a limit of 30% of the Chaffee funds could be used for room and board in a fiscal year. But for the period of April 1st, 2020 until September 30th, 2021, that requirement is waived. It also allows states and tribes to use Chaffee room and board for otherwise eligible youth who are age 18 to 26 and have experienced foster care at age 14 or older. And the youth does not have to have been in foster care on their 18th birthday in order to get this assistance. So broadly speaking, it expands the use of Chaffee for room and board payments for this period.
Programmatic flexibility is continued.
It also provides specific authority for states and tribes to provide otherwise eligible youth who are age 15 up to age 26, up to $4,000 per year for driving and transportation assistance out of those Chaffee funds. This assistance then must be disregarded when the youth's eligibility is being determined for other federal assistance.
Section 4, preventing aging out of foster care during the pandemic.
So those are very, very broadly the Chaffee provisions. That's a big portion of the bill and obviously a big portion of the funding, and I will be referring back to it shortly. But for now, I'm going to go on to the section that addresses youth who may be aging out of foster care or maybe have already aged out of foster care during this pandemic. One of the big provisions is that a Title IV agency cannot require that any youth leave foster care solely due to their age before October 1st, 2021. In addition, the Title IV agency can't find a youth ineligible for Title IV-E foster care due to their age or failure to meet the Title IV-E education and employment conditions for extended foster care before October 1st, 2021. So again, these basically are temporarily pausing aging out or leaving solely due to age, I should say, and also temporarily waiving those age and education and employment conditions for Title IV-E.
Section 4, continued, re-entry to foster care for youth who age out during the pandemic.
Next, I'm going to talk about the provisions for youth who may need to re-enter foster care. A Title IV agency, and this is regardless of whether the agency has extended Title IV foster care in place, they must permit any youth who has left foster care due to their age during the COVID-19 public health emergency to then voluntarily re-enter foster care. Now, the COVID-19 public health emergency is a period that is defined. It is a public health emergency is a declaration that's made by the Secretary of HHS. It can be extended. The current COVID-19 public health emergency began on January 27th, 2020, and it goes until January 20th, 2021. But it is subject to be extended by 90-day periods, has been extended several times already. So that last date for how long this would be in effect is very likely to change. So in addition to allowing these youth who left foster care during that period to come back into foster care, a Title IV agency must also provide notice of the option to reenter foster care to each youth who aged out during the public health emergency. Agencies are also required to conduct a public awareness campaign about the option of reentry for youth who have left foster care.
Section 4, continued, protections for youth in foster care.
For these youth who are re-entering foster care or remaining in foster care beyond what used to be the upper age, the Title IV agency must continue to ensure the safety, permanency, and well-being of those youth. And they must continue transition planning as outlined in our statute for those youth as well.
Section 4, continued, authority to use supplemental Chaffee funding for certain costs.
As I said earlier, I would be coming back to that Chaffee funding, that $400 million I discussed earlier. So there is authority under this law to use that supplemental Chaffee funding for some costs incurred in meeting these requirements I just discussed about older youth in foster care. So the law specifies that Chaffee appropriation, those additional funds, can be used for some cost incurred in meeting the requirements relating to preventing youth from aging out of foster care, for their reentry into foster care, and for providing those protections I just discussed for those youth. Those costs have to be incurred after the enactment on December 27th of last year and before October 1st of 2021 this year. There is one restriction, and that is that the supplemental Chaffee appropriation funding cannot be used for costs related to youth who are Title IV-E eligible. So if they're eligible for Title IV-E foster care, even if they're eligible for Title IV-E foster care due to that temporary waiver of the age and education and employment requirements, the Chaffee money could not be used for that. They should instead be claiming for those foster care maintenance payments and associated costs through Title IV-E directly.
Authority to use supplemental Chaffee funding for certain costs continued.
The law also specifies in relation to this that Title IV agencies must make reasonable efforts to determine the Title IV eligibility of each youth remaining in or reentering foster care during the public health emergency. Finally, and this is about youth who reenter foster care and their 4E eligibility, youth who reenter foster care during this period of April 1st, 2020 and September 30th of 2021. Those who re-enter cannot be determined ineligible for Title IV-E foster care solely due to their age or the education and employment conditions. So there are two provisions addressing 4E foster care eligibility for youth who are in foster care or re-entering foster care.
Section 5, Family First Prevention Services Program.
Now, moving away from foster care, the law also makes a big change temporarily to the Title IV-E Prevention Services Program. And this will provide 100% federal dollars for both Title IV-E Prevention Program services and the associated allowable Title IV-E prevention administrative and training costs. So that 100% federal funding goes from April 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021.
Section 6, Emergency Funding for the Mary Lee Allen Safe and Stable Families Program.
The bill also provides some additional emergency funding for the Safe and Stable Family Program. It appropriates $85 million in supplemental funding for the fiscal year of 2021 for Title IV-B Subpart 2. And all of those amounts are in addition to what is otherwise appropriated. $75 million of that amount is for supplemental grants to states and tribes for the Promoting Safe and Stable Families program. It also removes the matching requirement in this section of the Act that's referred to on the slide for all the additional funds by making the federal share 100%. And normally it would be 75%. So just for these additional funds, it's a 100% federal share.
Section 7, Court Improvements Program CIP.
Of those amounts for Title IV-B Subpart 2, $10 million are reserved for the Court Improvement Program. This is for, again, fiscal year 2021. And it also extends the current State Court Improvement Program grant authority through fiscal year 2022. State courts must use the additional grant to address needs stemming from COVID-19. And that may include things like technology investments, training for judges, and programs to help families address their case plans. Additionally, $500,000 of that $10 million is reserved exclusively for tribal court improvement.
Section 7 continued.
I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in about the slides. I don't believe we're sending out the slides today, but I assure you that we will be providing more information about each of the provisions of the law as soon as we possibly can get that out. Continuing on to talk more about these court improvement funds. So out of all of each eligible state court will receive a base amount of $85,000 plus an additional amount based on the percentage of the state's population under age 21. And these grants, these state court improvement grants, are in addition to any state court improvement grants already made. There's no match requirement for these grants. And if any highest state court doesn't take the grant, the funds would be distributed among the states. And we are permitted to require some specific reporting about this additional COVID-19 grant to for these additional COVID-19 court improvement program grants. So there may be additional reporting required.
Section 8, Title 4E, Kinship Navigator Program.
Moving away from the court improvement program to the Title 4E Kinship Navigator Program. So from the period of April 1st of 2020 through September 30th of this year, the federal share for the Kinship Navigator Program, the 4E Kinship Navigator Program, will be 100%, so 100% federal dollars. In addition, and this is a big piece for the Title 4E Kinship Navigator Program, there are evidence-based standards required for Kinship Navigator, and those are going to be waived during that time period. So states will not have to use a program that has been rated by the clearinghouse. So for that time period, they will be able to use other Kinship Navigator programs and provide an assurance that the program they're using will be evaluated for the purpose of building that evidence base to later determine whether the program will be able to meet the 4E evidence standards and be put in the clearinghouse.
Section 8, continued.
In addition, the Title 4E Kinship Navigator funds during this time period can be used for additional specified activities in the statute. So they can already be used for what we allow Kinship Navigator to be used for. And in addition, could be used for evaluations and independent systematic reviews to build that evidence base, and as well as short-term support for kinship families. And that could be for direct services or assistance or technology for remote learning and other virtual activities that kinship families need due to COVID-19. In addition, any 4E Kinship Navigator funds paid to territories during the time period would be exempted from the cap under Section 1108.
Section 9, Adjustment of Funding Certainty Baselines for Family First Transition Act Funding Certainty Grants.
Under the Family First Transition Act, there were funding certainty grants for states that were former Title 4E demonstration project states. There were calculations for the baseline and the amounts of these grants. What this law does is adjust those baseline calculations so that the temporary increase in FMAP that was made due to COVID-19 doesn't penalize those states when they're calculating their Family First Transition Act certainty grant funding.
Section 11, Technical Correction to Temporary Increase in Medicaid FMAP.
The law also makes a correction to include the District of Columbia in the temporary 6.2% FMAP increase I just mentioned that was provided to states. So DC will be able to claim using that enhanced FMAP rate beginning January 1st, 2020. And that's when the increase was took effect for states who got that increase.
Section 305 of Title 3, Division CC, Extension of Mary Lee Allen Promoting Safe and Stable Families Program and State Court Support.
And that is all for Division X. I'm now going to move on to a section of Title 3 in Division CC of this very large piece of legislation. This deals with the Title 4B Subpart 2 Safe and Stable Families Program, as well as more on the Court Improvement Program.
Title 4B extension.
So the bill extends the Title 4B Subpart 2 authorization for mandatory appropriations to fiscal year 2022. It also extends the authorizations for monthly caseworker visit funding and the regional partnership grants. It extends those from to fiscal year 2022 as well.
CIB changes beginning fiscal year 2022.
Finally, it will make some changes to the court improvement program beginning in fiscal year 2022. First, the structure of the state court improvement program will change from 3 grants down to 1 grant. And that's beginning in 2022 again. And at least 30% of the funds for that grant must be used for collaboration and data sharing. Beginning in fiscal year 2022, there's a new formula for awarding court improvement program grants for states. It will use a base amount of $255,000 plus an additional amount that's based on the percentage of the state's population under age 21. Finally, it continues the reservation for tribal court improvement programs, and that continues at $1 million. And that is the end of our presentation today on the very detailed nitty-gritty of what's in the bill. As I stated before, I know you all have many questions, and I do encourage you to reach out to your regional offices. We are getting information out as fast as we can. We want to make sure that we do get the correct information out as well. Your questions are valuable to us and help inform us as we write this this information and this guidance going out to you. And I believe that would conclude my portion of the presentation. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Jerry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Liz, for that. And thanks to all of you for putting your questions. I know without anybody saying it, it's got to be very frustrating for you to have the questions and for us not to be able to get in there and give you definitive answers today. Please be rest assured that we will look at these questions and any others that we get submitted and incorporate some responses to those in the guidance that we have. Frankly, some of the questions that are going into the chat are things that we're still trying to figure out and we'll have to work out in collaboration with some legal guidance and the input from some other people. As Liz has already referenced, we are already working on the initial guidance that will be coming out. Everything we put out does have to go through a clearance process. I want you to be aware that getting the guidance out there as quickly as we can is something that we're really quite committed to, particularly given the time limits on some of the provisions of the act here. We want everybody to have as much time as possible for implementation, and we want to get that guidance out there to you so that you can begin that work very, very promptly, so that our children, our youth, our families are able to get the maximum benefit from these new provisions and new appropriations. You should also be aware that it does sometimes take a few weeks for us to actually get the money in our hands so that we can begin to distribute that out to the states. We, again, will be working to try to make that happen very quickly. There are a lot of players here, but we have a vested interest in getting it, both the money and the guidance out there as quickly as we can. So with that, we will conclude our webinar this afternoon. Thank you all once again. And just to not be redundant, but to reiterate, please don't hesitate to submit questions that you might have to our regional offices, and all of those will come here so that we have a centralized way of providing consistent responses across the country. So thank you all for joining us today. Goodbye.
Children's Bureau.